welcome to Co-ople Mode, a couple's opinion on gaming. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
And we're back with the first real game of the new year.
Back and nervous. Woo! Terrified.
Yep, I just spent the last full minute just saying every horrible game that she dreads me saying.
The fight or flight is hitting me. Who knows what's going to happen? You might get punched. I might run away.
Or both.
I'll probably, yeah, actually, that's probably.
So, this was the game I was planning on making you play before we took our break. And you know what? I still wanted to do it. And I thought, new year, maybe some new rules. We'll try to mix it up.
What do you mean?
We are going to be playing a game that is still technically in early access, which I haven't made you do yet. Now, generally, in the past couple of years of games, I've always done completed games.
Yeah.
But I thought, in this case, this one might be interesting to see what you think. And if we come back after it's finished, maybe have you dip back in sometime and see what changes they've made or how you feel about it.
Okay.
Now, I haven't played this game in a minute. Do you have any guesses?
No, I don't have any guesses. You've been playing all kinds of random stuff. Oh, gosh, dang it. This is so... If only people listening knew the evil smile on your face. You're so cruel. This is the cruelest you ever are.
I'm a stinker. I am going to be making you play Slime Rancher 2.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You're going to make me play that right now? I've waited all this time for the full game.
And honestly, I think...
Why make me do the access now?
So, the last time...
I mean, I'm happy, but...
Okay, so... Quick timeline. When you played Slime Rancher 1, Slime Rancher 2 came out in early access almost at the same time.
Right at the same time.
Yes. So I played Slime Rancher 2 early access at that point. They have added another land, more stuff. They've changed some things around since I have played it. Now, there is still... they've added a whole new land, a couple big updates, and there's still another update, another big land to go explore that hasn't been added yet. So the game's not finished, hence early access. But I feel like there's enough of this game for you to dig your teeth into. And
sure.
I think I know the whole crux of this podcast is I played a little bit of everything. You only played so much. Mm-hmm. But you've had quite a range of experiences at this point.
And now, thanks to you,
So I think that...
You're going to make a real gamer out of it someday.
Right, someday. So I thought, you know what would be interesting? Let's get her view on trying something in early access, how she feels where it's at, and when it does finally fully release, we can jump back in and finish it or start a new game and, whatever. So I thought... If you're going to be a true real gamer, you got to play a game in early access.
I'm so stoked to go back to Slime Rancher. That sounds delicious right now.
Doesn't it?
It's what I need after getting my butt kicked for the last 3 weeks by Leshy and Inscription. I need something to soothe my soul.
I was so tempted to come back and play Slime Rancher 2. So I haven't. And I thought it would make for interesting conversation later to see what was different between when I played it last and when you've played it now.
Okay.
And that's been not quite a full, maybe a year?
It's been about a year.
Yeah. So it's been, so I thought that would be interesting to see. And
actually, I think it's been more than a year.
It's been more than a year now that I think about it. Yep. And it, I just thought it would make for an interesting conversation later on. And I'm like, oh, we're just going to let you do it. I almost started it. And then I ended up playing the other little casual blacksmithing simulator that got me that kind of good, chill vibe.
Those good vibes.
not high stakes kind of stuff. Sometimes I just want some low stakes gaming, please. So some basic info about the game. Almost year and a half. Released on September 2022 for PC and Xbox. It came out for both at the same time. It is on Xbox Game Pass along with the original Slime Rancher. So if you are part of the Xbox... Oh my gosh.
Redo.
Excuse me. If you are part of the Xbox Game Pass community, you should try Slime Rancher 1 or 2 in early access. Moving on. It is developed by Monami Park.
Yeah.
Which obviously...
Makers of cute things.
Yep, made Slime Rancher 1 and like the Slime Rancher VR DLC, which is only on computer.
There's a VR version?
Yeah, it's like a VR. It's
hell?
not a full VR game. It's basically the game in VR in Slime Rancher. But I don't have it on... You have to do it. It's on Steam only.
That sounds so cute.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to bounce around cute little happy slimes?
Oh my gosh. That sounds like the way that game should be played.
I think eventually, I think they should finish 2, but I think making a actual VR game in the Slime Rancher universe could be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
It'd be so cute and fun.
Oh.
Yeah, right?
The tabby slimes.
So, just a shout out again to Monami Park. They are a company that really focuses on having no crunch time. They really have a it will be done when it's done vibe.
Yes.
Their workers' health is very important to them. And it just makes me really appreciate them. Don't get me wrong. I want Slime Rancher 2 to come out fully. I don't want to have to wait 2 years for this game to come out fully. But these guys, because they take care of their workers, I am okay with waiting. And if I wait for a good game, I will wait. Like, I'm not one of those people that's going to freak out if you delay a game, as long as you put out a good game at the end of it.
Yeah.
And prioritizing worker health is something that I really admire and I appreciate about them. It's funny, when I was looking some of this stuff up, like, they were hiring some people at the time.
Oh my gosh, I'll learn how to do anything you need me to do.
I can't remember what they were specifically looking for, but I think, yeah, they have lots of other benefits and stuff.
Boy, that would be a career change for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go from building ship ladders and decks and fences out of aluminum and steel to building video games. I'm gonna build virtual fences and decks.
I couldn't do it. I can't sit still.
Oh my!
It's torture
goodness.
to make me sit still for an hour to do this podcast with you.
So obviously,
like, not because I don't like doing it with you. It's just hard to sit still. I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
It's just hard to sit.
You're not sick of me.
No, I like.
You're not leaving me yet.
I like all of the other stuff. Just the sitting sucks.
So, there's no Metacritic score yet. Obviously, it's an early access.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't.
People don't review games when they're not done yet.
You
right?
might, but there is one critic review when it came out. Sometimes when they first release for early access, but a lot of times mainstream
critics.
Critics like, why am I going to review a game that's not fully out? Because early access,
it would be kind of shitty to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. Early access has such a big range of completeness. You might get some people that'll put a game out in early access, like Baldur's Gate did, which gave you almost all of Act 1, and they just added in more classes and characters and like story options that would happen over time, right? That was like a bigger game, but then you get stuff that's like, hey, here's my first level, and it's going to be like 1 of 12, here's early access. Tell me what you think. Because some people, like, they really want and need that feedback to really fine tune it to people who will enjoy their game.
Yeah, I think there's different issues that early access can help clean up.
Yep.
Depending on what you need help with, right? And I think that depends on the game developer. Like Slime Rancher, I can't imagine that it's a lot about buggy stuff or things like that. Like Baldur's Gate probably had a lot of that.
Oh yeah, they had a lot of bugs.
It's such a huge game with so much going on, right?
Yep.
Different needs for different people.
Yeah, exactly. So the only critic review when it was first released in September 22 gave it an 80.
That's not bad,
which is pretty good for an early access game. And out of the Steam reviews, there are 23,983 Steam reviews.
That's a lot.
It's probably more now, but this is when I wrote down my notes. 22,723 are positive, giving it a very positive score.
That's awesome.
So, which is very, very good.
Yeah, that's like almost 100%.
Yeah. So it's pretty high up there. what was it? And just to point out, the original Slime Rancher on Steam has over 113,000 reviews, and over 111,000 are positive, giving it overwhelmingly positive on Steam.
Heck yeah.
Yep. So
go Slime Rancher.
Yeah, which is amazing. Like it's people love it. Like people love a good casual fun sim game, and Slime Rancher is very good. It sold over 300,000 copies at its early access launch week. So I mean, not bad considering it was in early access.
It's just early access.
Yeah. The original Slime Rancher has sold over 6 million copies as of September 2022. So when they took down the numbers, I think it was on Monami's website, their Slime Rancher website. They're like, hey, here's a, success celebration. We sold this many games. Yeah. Over 6 million copies. It's not bad for, a little company's development.
Game like this. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I shouldn't say little. I'm not trying to demean it, but
they're definitely on the indie developer side more so.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you.
And I mean, I think the thing about indie game development, it has gotten a little muddied over the years because you can have indie games made by one person, like Stardew Valley or Inscription, Daniel Mullen. Like, I mean, probably some people did help them, but there's like one main person working on it, right? And then you can also get like a small company that might have 10 to 50 people that'll work on an indie game. So, I mean, there is a wide range of people in that market for gaming, because a lot of people really enjoy this little almost bite-sized gaming experiences you can get nowadays. And not to mention, indie games generally give you those interesting ideas more often.
Well, yeah, I think that's the biggest pull for me. I mean, you and I both enjoy the big top dollar games once in a while.
Yes.
Like, let's be honest, we enjoy our Monster Hunter. We will dabble in Call of Duty and things like that once in a while. But the indie games give us so much more creativity, and you and I enjoy that so much.
Yeah. Well, it's also like our movies we like sometimes too, because like
the weird ones are extra special, right?
Oh, what was that? I always think of that one Daniel Radcliffe movie where he plays a dead body, and it's like it's so weird, but the movie was good. Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
Yep. It's such a weird movie.
Guns Akimbo was weird too.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it, but
you didn't like that one as much.
I did like parts of it.
Yeah. I think
it was mostly that they didn't stick with one sort of set of rules. For the dynamics in that movie that I didn't like, but there were ideas in it that I did appreciate. There were some funny moments. There was some good stuff in there.
Welcome to the Daniel Radcliffe movie corner.
But at least it was interesting though.
Yeah, it was interesting. Something different,
it's
right?
Yeah, it's not the newest like romantic comedy that we're not even going to see because we just don't care. You know what I mean? Like, no thanks.
Nope. I totally
I'd rather
agree.
watch those.
So, yeah, I mean, that's mainly, I don't have a lot of like, I always like it when I can find some cool developmental notes, but they're a smaller company. We don't get that as much. So I'm just going to go over some quick things that are a little different. It's Slime Rancher 2 is more Slime Rancher goodness for sure. Like if you enjoyed the first one, you're going to enjoy this one. I'm pretty sure there's a little more chaos. I think it's because it's made for newer systems, so it can handle more slime showing up and multiplying.
You know what?
Breeding.
I think I'm okay with that because like once in a while it would get a little chaotic, but I kept my farm under pretty good control.
See, my farm I keep under lockdown, but like even when you're going out into the world, it can get crazy sometimes.
In Slime Rancher 2?
Yeah, it gets nuts.
Well, that sounds kind of exciting, actually.
Which is only going to add to, because one of the newest things they added was a dynamic weather system. So it'll rain, it'll be windy, it'll be thunderstorms. There's a tornado. There's a slime-nado apparently, and I don't know what that means.
Sounds amazing.
It's going to be, raining slimes. Hallelujah, it's raining slimes.
I'm going to sing that while sucking them up. The weather system, I bet, will have a lot to do with what types of slimes you see.
I bet.
Just like Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Well, yeah, like
different
daytime
weather
and nighttime
patterns
affects it.
make different Pokemon come out. That's
and,
exciting. It's like Pokemon, but with slime.
And the last major thing that I will tell you is so one of the biggest gripes about Slime Rancher 1 is you only get 4 vac slots. So for your vacuum pack.
There's got to be a challenge.
Yep. So you really have to manage, like when you go out to collect items or slimes or whatever you're trying to get, you have to manage what you want to take. Oh, plus your water tank too.
You got to make choices.
Yep. So you can increase how much of each item you can get, but you really have to, like Rose said, make choices. Now in the second one, you can get upgrades to get more vacuum slots.
Big babies.
Yeah. You're going to need it this time around though.
Because there's more slimes?
Well, like when you go to these areas, they feel bigger and there's a lot more to explore.
Yeah?
Like I felt like I don't want to say the first Slime Rancher was linear because it's not. Depending on what doors you open determines like what way you're going to run through it. But like each area was pretty generally like more hallway-esque. Like you would come to like a big room, but it would have like 3 exits. In Slime Rancher 2, it was much more open. Like you could go places, like if you could get, like if your jetpack can reach there, if you can get over, like it felt much more open and not so much like locking you into a hallway so much.
That just means lots of trips back and forth to your farm.
Yep. So, and that's interesting. So that was very fun. And it was just fun to explore and find little hidden nooks and crannies and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, I'm stoked. Let's go. I can't wait.
I'm really excited for you to play and see what has changed since I played it. I will say, you know what? I will leave that for the second half, actually.
I'm pumped. I'm so ready for this.
I really want to talk about it more, but I think it's smart. We're going to save it for the second half. We're going to jump into it. I wanted you to have a nice, like you said, you've been playing Inscription a lot and just freaking letting Inscription kick your ass. And it's like, let's have a nice, calm, fun,
sweaty tension over the laptop. If I make the wrong move, it's all over with.
Let's have a fun, relaxing space farm simulator with cute little slimes that might explode. Depending on what kinds you find. So
late Merry Christmas to me.
Yeah, see, that's what it was. It was going to be before Christmas.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
So let's do that. I think it'll be fun. I hope you guys will enjoy I love Slime Rancher. Oh my God, I love Slime Rancher.
I do too. And I don't love sim games very much, but this one, it's got all the good. This one makes my brain so happy. This one makes all the good chemicals flow.
I think this is the thing. And, talking about the original Slime Rancher probably the most is how it simplifies that farming sim aspect of it. Because you go out and just collect animals.
It's not overwhelming.
You throw them in a pen. What's their favorite food? Grow that food in a plot. You can grow one food in each plot. Like it simplifies it in a way that doesn't make you feel overwhelmed managing it, but it also makes you feel good when you smartly manage it. And that's what's so nice about it, I think. And I'm really excited. I'm excited for you to finally get to like dip your toes in and see what it's like. So, and you're going to get, I'm sure you'll get there. You're going to get to experience a whole new area I haven't yet. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited to be back, and let's head out of the studio.
Do it now.
We'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome back from exploring. Well, it's not quite the far range. It's Rainbow Island, right?
It's Rainbow Island.
Oh, Rainbow. Imagination.
It's so bright and colorful.
It is very bright and colorful, isn't it?
It is. It's almost like visually overwhelming. Mm-hmm. But it's really, really beautiful, and it's fun to explore because it is very full and there are so many colors everywhere. Mm-hmm. It makes exploring The two main parts of this game, right, is like collecting all the different slimes and then different items around the world, like jellystone or radiant ore, lava dust, so that you can make new tools and equipment and upgrade what you have. That part of the game, and then there's the exploration in the world part of the game.
Yeah.
So it feels like there's so much going on, and you spend so much time with both. You feel torn all the time.
Yeah.
I love this game. I think that's why, like, even though it's a farming sim game, the aspect of like exploring and trying to get different things and items, like the way this is meshed together with those two different things just works so perfectly for me. I love it. I never want to stop.
So I'm just going to cut in right here at this point is early on, you get an upgrade to your vat gun that allows you to harvest these resource items. What was it? Like jellystone, like the bismuth rock, the special
radiant ore, all the stuff I just said. Yeah.
But in the first Slime Rancher, you didn't really even get into collecting any of that weird stuff.
Until the end.
Yeah, until like you've explored the whole island and you unlock the lab finally. And I thought that was like a cool switch. Like, oh, now I can like discover these little nooks and crannies with those resources.
There's a few things I noticed that is different between Slime Rancher 2 and the first Slime Rancher. And I don't know, do you want to start off with those things?
I think that might be a good idea. That's not a bad idea.
Because in my opinion, they took Slime Rancher 1 and it's only improvements on that first game, which surprised me because I didn't expect to feel that way. I really loved Slime Rancher. But you're right. Like one of the biggest differences is that you can start collecting those resources pretty much right away in the game. So the world has a lot more to offer right off the bat. And I do remember when I played the first Slime Rancher, I mean, you pretty much explore everything, get every kind of slime you want, get your farm like going at its peak. And then right at that point, when you're pretty much done, it's like, oh yeah, there's resources you can collect too to build stuff. And you kind of don't care anymore.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Me too. I mean, like,
it gets to a point where you're like, I mean, I can keep collecting plorts and selling them for money, but for what? Like, I don't really need any. There was no need there, so there's no necessities, so there's no drive to keep going.
So this, I remember this feeling so much because optimizing your farm in the original Slime Rancher involved getting drones. You could set a drone to like move plorts to the plort collector, move them like you could have them pick and gather like vegetables, whatever, like ease some of the maintenance you have to do on your own. But by the time I get to that point in the first game, I'm already doing it all by myself. Everything's kind of pretty well taken care of. If I lose a few cube berries, I don't care. If I lose a few, odd onions, it's not the end of the world. I've collected so much. I have excess at that point. Why do I need drones to help me do something I'm doing on my own at that point? That's merely just for me to experience more of the game. And I already got all the slimes I want. And like, I don't want to change my farm anymore. I don't need to. So why am I going all around to get like a teleporter to make it easier to go around, to get drones to make it easier to go around? It's after that point I feel like I didn't need it anymore.
So having that at the beginning of Slime Rancher 2 and being able to upgrade things as you play the game feels so good. And I love the way that they did the upgrading system as well in this one, because like your first upgrades have a cost, but they don't seem too difficult. And then as you keep going, you can get a second upgrade, but that cost has a lot more different items that you need to have collected. And like, it just keeps building on itself.
Yeah.
And I like that about this a lot.
Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah. I mean, over time, like you're collecting a little bit of more of this and that. And then by the time you're able to get that secondary or third upgrade, you have some of the items you need, or there might be one or two things that you don't have anything of. It doesn't feel like a hard line where you don't have anything. There's no point in trying to get it. It's building all with itself really well. I love the way they did that this time. It was a huge improvement that I didn't even think about. Like we talked about, we weren't super impressed with how that worked in the first game, but I wouldn't have even thought of changing it.
Yeah.
But I'm really, really glad they did because it feels really good.
Well, like just for a basis example, in the first game to upgrade your health, to upgrade how much your vac slots can hold, your jet boots and all that stuff is just money. And for that, you don't really need to leave the farm. You can just keep the farm going if it's self-sustaining, right? In this one, you also need those resource items you got to go out and collect, or you also need to find that new slime that get that plort that you don't have yet. So there's all this like, hey, go out, explore more. You might find more stuff to get those upgrades you want. Like it really flows together even better than the first game, I feel like.
It does.
And I that was like such a driving force to go out to get the stuff I need for those upgrades. Like I like that vibe. It keeps me playing. It keeps me going.
Another big difference that I really am happy that they made is they have those little containers that you can find around the island and open up, and
the
you get
spheres.
Blueprints. In the first game, you could only open up certain colors at first, and then you had to like. I can't remember, something about a key, or you had to...
That was the lab later on. You had to get the key to unlock the certain colors and the certain types.
And like that took me a while the first time, so I'm going through a lot of areas and leaving a lot behind that I can't, open up and get the prints for. And then by the time I get it, like you're running around, and usually those are the good prints too, not just decorative items, like stuff that you can actually use. It's not like that in Slime Rancher 2. Anyone you find, you can open up right away. I love that. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Like, it's just nice. The needing the key and only being able to open up certain ones, that kind of frustrated me a little bit. Like, that wasn't my favorite, but being able to get to these in Slime Rancher 2 and open them up, love that. Get all different kinds of prints, and it's super exciting because you don't know, like, is this going to be super useful? Is it going to be a decorative thing? It's fun. And they made it just so that they're a little harder to get to or a little hidden, and that makes it really fun because you want to explore every nook and cranny then. And oh my gosh, talk about nooks and crannies.
This game's full of them.
It's wild. This map is intense and impressive. Like, there is so much everywhere. I still don't even feel like I've explored the main area completely. There's probably more that I still haven't seen. I love that. It feels so big because of that. Not even just ground level, like jumping around. You can get to a lot of different places, but once you get those jet boots and then you upgrade them, even more is opened up. There is a lot of verticality in this game.
Yes, there is.
They did not limit themselves. I mean, if you can see it, you can probably get there. And then if you peek around a corner, there's probably another little platform that you can get to, which is going to lead you somewhere else completely different. That's a lot of fun. It makes the exploring feel really fulfilling, really exciting. It feels like you got to go through it again and again and again because you might have missed something. Very nice. Very nicely done. Love it.
Oh, yeah. And like a nice little touch, if you run into, they don't call them the Largos. What do they call the big slimes that usually block the Gordo slimes? Now, in the first game, Gordo slimes usually would block a shortcut or a hidden item compartment or even a teleporter sometimes. And basically, it's just a big, huge honking boy that you got to feed enough of their food that they like till they pop and then get out of the way. But when you run into them in Slime Rancher 2, they mark them on your map. Boom.
So you know where they are. That's very nice.
Really appreciate that. And going back to being able to open those treasure pods is so nice because in the first game, you'd see them if you were exploring. I am not the type of person that has photographic memory. By the time I got the key to unlock it, I went back and tried to find those things after the game. One of the first or second time I really played Slime Rancher, and it's like I know there was a treasure pod here and I can't find it, and then eventually you give up, and it's like and
it could have been something cool that you would have used like the whole time. Yeah, so that was a really good change.
Just easing those pain points everywhere.
They did such a good job easing pain points. And it's like I said, it's not that they felt super bad the first time around. So the fact that they took something that didn't have harsh pain points and made it even better, you're like, this is the best. Like, it's always so exciting when a game like totally improves the second time around, because I think a lot of the times the second or third, they might improve on certain things, but something else kind of lacks. And I don't feel like anything's lacking in this one. It is just a lot of fun. The last like big difference that I wanted to point out was, luckily, our son loaded up the first Slime Rancher actually this morning, and I didn't really think about it. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh wow, like Slime Rancher 2 does look really good.
Yeah, it is a big
really
graphical
vibrant.
upgrade.
They streamlined your screen and the way that items are shown on it better, and they really, really made it more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the environment, but even like the items and the slimes and your character itself. It's really cool to see, because I don't think Slime Rancher's that old.
Oh man, it's not super old, but I mean, it was made by a small company.
Big difference visually.
And, I mean, like, it's not that the first one looks bad. It is good for what it is, but they really just amped up like that. This island is alive. It's vibrant.
Yeah.
The grass is blowing around.
Yeah.
Like, even like that first area, like when you come into the conservatory, your ranch essentially, like even that, it's just. It looks like such a cozy place you'd love to spend time.
Like a big, beautiful garden.
And that's the only, like you go and play the first one, you kind of start in this little desert area, and then you unlock like a cave and a more vibrant, like grassy area. But this one, like every area you unlock is just kind of beautiful in its own right.
Yeah.
And and the music that they have playing, anybody who's played a lot of Minecraft kind of can get that vibe. You get that, like, they have this just nice background music that just makes it like, oh, I just like, this is my cozy place. This is where I want to stay. I just want to roam around here where slimes are going around. And how many slimes you see at one time too is
that's
greatly
amped
increased.
up, I think.
So you end up running into tars, I feel, more often than you did in the first game.
Yeah, and they're maybe a little bit more aggressive even.
Yeah, they're pretty aggressive.
But it's fun. I mean, they at first I had a hard time finding a water source, but it's because of the direction that I went unknowingly. Like, I just went in a direction where there's not a lot of them. If I had taken a right instead of a left, I would have found a ton of water sources. But also thinking about it, I'm like, if I had built a pond, I would have had a water source right away.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to lie, it's kind of fun spraying tars with water in this one. Like, all of a sudden, in a moment, they start taking over and eating all the slimes around, and you just go boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, it turns into a shooter game.
Yep.
You know?
Taste my Glock, fool. Just start
saving all
them.
These little cotton slimes.
Yeah. Oh, they're so cute. So you've got to also experience some new slimes in this game that and like you, even since I played the early access, I've seen some new ones that I didn't get to experience.
Oh, really? So which ones did you see?
The Yoki slime, the little slime that looks like a sunny side up egg, and you don't put them in a regular pen. You just slap them in a pen with their chickens because they love the chickens so much.
And if the pen isn't too overcrowded, the Yoki slime will lay a giant chicken egg, and you open that up and you'll get some yolk plorts and then some baby chicks.
A ton of baby chicks.
Yeah. So it really helps your chicken coop. My chicken coop is pretty much constantly overflowing all the time.
Yeah.
But it's great because I have enough to feed all my tabby slimes and my hunter slimes.
That was another pain point I feel like they eased up on, because in the first game, it was very hard to keep your chicken farms going enough to feed your meat eaters.
I was feeling that in the beginning of this one.
Yep.
But finding that Yoki slime, which is like out in the world, if there's a bunch of chickens around, there's a chance for him to pop up. Finding him completely changed the game for me. Instead of constantly being low on chickens, I finally have enough.
Yeah.
So that was a really good addition to Slime Rancher 2, was making that slime. I'm very thankful for it.
It was pretty smart now that I think about it. I didn't think about it like that. That's a really good point.
Because I was struggling a little bit at first. And it's always, I think chickens are always going to be hard. Like, you have to leave enough that they keep making more. But man, there's just cycles where they don't have as many. And even like my sea hens, there's sea hens in this one.
Yeah, so derpy looking.
The cute little angler slimes that look like an angler fish, but adorable and purple. Oh.
They keep blinding themselves.
Yes. They like to eat the sea hens. I have a hard time keeping those up. Like, even though I've left a ton of them in the coop time after time, sometimes I go back and I'll have a horde, but most of the time it's like what are you guys doing in here? Get busy.
I'm pretty sure it's how the first game worked, and I'm not exactly sure if the second game works exactly the same. But it's having a rooster roll 1 or 2 and like 2 to 3 hens gives them like a % chance to have a baby chick like over time.
Yeah, you had mentioned that. And so I started leaving more roosters because I would leave just one.
That's how I used to do it, too.
I started leaving more roosters in, and I do think that made a difference. I think so, like 2 roosters, 3 hens minimum.
Yeah.
I try not to get down even that low, honestly. But, you know, when slimes are hungry,
you got to feed them, right? You got to keep the feeders full of chickens.
So it's fun having the addition of the sea hens. You still have the stony hens, the regular ones, and then I just found painted hens, and I think those are in the first one too at the very end. Painted hens
I think
in the
so.
desert area.
The really colorful ones.
Yeah, they're so pretty. So I've got a horde of those growing right now too. But as far as new slimes go, the Yoki slime, the angler one, I found a flutter slime. Looks like a little butterfly floating around.
Adorable.
It is adorable. And I grabbed like 10 of them. I was so excited. And then I learned what they eat.
Yeah, they're really hard to feed.
They are hard to feed. There are, in one certain area, there are big blue flowers that'll be growing like on the tops of a tree or on the side of a mountain. And they will give a little drop of nectar. And that's what those flutter slimes eat, is that nectar. Collecting those is really, really hard.
Yep.
But you let the flutter slimes just roam free in your conservatory, and they just hang out and make all the other slimes happy. And when you do feed them nectar, they calm down all the slimes in the conservatory.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
they just
cool
have
trick.
good vibes. And then like little colorful confetti's always falling down around them. So they're a nice addition. Like, they're not made for having a whole pen full of them. It's a nice addition to add to your conservatory to like help other slimes and keep easily agitated slimes more mellowed out. And that's what I mean. Like with that and the Yoki slime, you're getting different things for different purposes now. It's a really nice way to expand this game and make it better. Yeah. That makes it really fun.
Yeah, that is really cool. There's just a lot built out in there. You know, I think the baddie slimes are new to this one.
I have some of those. Those are cute.
Yep. The cotton plorts, you find those get the little bunny slimes right away. Like, there are so much cool stuff. And I know there's more because there's the third area that I haven't been to that you haven't quite got to yet either.
I don't think I've explored all of everything yet either. And that's the thing. Like, I'm surprised this is early access because there's so much. I've been playing this game pretty hard. Yeah. And I've really tried to like explore everything I can, but I know that there's more still, and it's so fun. Oh, what are they called? The little raccoon ones.
Oh, the Tanukis or the hunter slimes?
Not hunters. Starts with an R. Ringtails. Ringtail slimes. Yep. Those little mischievous devils are in here, and they're adorable. I love those guys too.
Those are the guys that turn stone in the daylight, right? Oh, they're so cool. I thought that was so cool.
It is cool.
It is a pain. I specifically remember because there's a Gordo ringtail out on the map. You ran into it, and I remember I'm like, okay, I got all the food. I'm going to start feeding it. It was like shaking. It was about to burst. Daylight, the first stream of daylight came through. Stone. It's like, oh my God, I almost popped this son of a gun. And he freaking
now you got to wait.
Stone. Oh, I was so irritated. Oh, I think he's in the same area that the butterflies one were at. And I'm like, I'm just going to go collect some dew. God. Like, I was all irritated about it.
Makes me really excited for the release of the full game because, I mean, I could still keep playing this definitely. And I can't imagine how much more they're going to add because there should be a lot more, right?
Yeah, there's, like I said, there's a whole nother area that's supposed to be coming out. That's going to be a big update. There's going to be some more slimes.
I don't know how the conservatory is going to be big enough to hold all of this stuff. That's like,
I know. You're going to have to start seeing who you want to get rid of at some point. Maybe
I think
they'll
they
add
might
another
expand on it.
Yeah, maybe they'll give you another like farming area. I'm not sure. They're really taking input seriously, and we'll have to see where it leads. And I hope after the full release they did do some DLC for Slime Rancher 1, which had like another area, and I hope there's like that for this too. I hope they do plan to give more, because I am happy to give more money to them for a game that I really thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah.
And like you said, this is early access. This is a good early access game, especially
really
at the point it is now. Because like I remember burning through it pretty quick. Well, relatively quickly. It did take me a while to get through it with what they released. But like I'm watching you play it, and like I know how you're feeling. You want to finish exploring all the areas that you've unlocked already.
Yeah.
And then there's still another third area that I don't know how big it is. And if it's as big as the areas we've already been in, that's a lot of more time to play. Like it really makes me tempted to jump in now, as opposed to me trying to wait till the full release. And I don't know. I'll have to see how I'm doing, like how itchy I get. Oh, but I love this game.
There's new vegetables and fruits too.
Yep.
Pomegranate fruits, water lettuce vegetables.
Yeah.
I mean, just the gardening alone, there's so much to do.
But I do think it is smart that they allow you to have upgrades and to find vacuum slot upgrades, so you can have more than just 4 slots in a water slot.
Oh, I know. That's the best thing ever.
And like that gives you more drive to explore, to find treasure pods in the hopes of finding another vac.
Just with the amount of slimes and like different fruits and vegetables, and then also the different resources that you got to collect, because there are a lot of resources to collect.
Yes.
You need to have more than 4 slots in your vac. So definitely needed. Good thing they did it. It would have been a nightmare to be running around at this point with only 4 slots.
But also still giving you the like, hey, you got to kind of still plan out what you're going to get. And sometimes you're going to run across a slime where it's like, okay, what do I get rid of right now? Because like I need this guy. Like that happens. And like as frustrating as that is, it's also like kind of exciting, because you're like, I saw this thing, like, okay, I got to do something about it right now. You know, I
can always find the slime again. I'll never get rid of a resource over a slime.
Except for a Yoki slime, right?
I put the resource in the resource holder, actually, and went back for the Yoki slime.
Yeah, luckily they did add those in, too. That's kind of a nice thing.
That is another nice touch. I know of one spot where, and actually I think you can make more.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah. You can make a portal to, if you're loaded up with resources and you're in a whole new area, which has happened to me, you can just throw them in the portal. They go back to your conservatory. That is so nice.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. And that those only work for resources specific, or plorts, right? Too.
I think you can put, because you can put plorts in your resource.
In your resource collector. Yeah. Yes. So that's kind of nice.
Because you need plorts to make some of your new materials too.
Yep. Oh man, gosh. It has been nice and fun watching you play, and just like it's so funny. We have you play, like some games I have you play, there's usually a bit of a frustration element in that first night, sometimes, first hour. It all depends on the game, because like you're learning the game, you're trying to get it. Now you really love Slime Rancher, which helps, but how quickly you kind of got into it and like you just enjoyed it away.
Well, I played the first one too.
And I think that helps.
Oh yeah. I mean, all the controls, the basics are all the same.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So there wasn't the learning curve that there usually is with a completely new game.
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
Yeah, that does really just help, having some experience with the game ahead of time,
And it's not complicated, but they also make it easy because they really let it build. And it doesn't feel slow to build, of like learning how to do everything like some games are, where you feel held back. It doesn't make you feel held back. It builds pretty quickly, and it just kind of flows really nicely. Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't feel like I had to go through just horrible, long, boring tutorials and things like that. It's pretty fast paced and like, okay, here you go. Okay, now do this. Okay, now do that.
You know what? I agree. And I think I said something similar during our first Slime Rancher episode. It was that they really streamline the farming sim. Like, here's a pen. here's a pond, here's a or like a garden patch to grow something. Like they really make it like, hey, all you need is a fruit. You don't need seeds, which are separate from the fruit. You don't need all this extra stuff to make it over complicated. It's just like, hey, I got this plot. Do I have some extra money? It's fertilized ground now. Now it waters itself. It'll grow faster. It'll grow more of the crop I want. It really
doesn't get lost in the minutia.
Yeah. And like, I know some people like all that in the farming simulators.
Then go play Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley does have more of that. I was just talking about that game the other day because it is a really good game, and I have enjoyed my time playing with it. And I probably also said this in some, I don't know what episode, but I have this tendency when I play Stardew Valley where I feel like I'm not doing things right. And I feel like I have to look up the right way to do things to try to not miss anything. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think that defeats the purpose. Because some people who love that game enough to play it over and over and over again, they're going to know all that stuff,
or really
right?
regularly.
And that's fine. That's a great way to play. If that game is your jam and that's all you want to play, do it. But I think when I have to go back and try it again, I'm going to have to just go, you know what, Matt? Just do what you want to do today. Water your crops, go to the mine, explore the forest. Like, don't get so caught up in feeling like you're not getting the best thing you can get as soon as possible. Just be a farmer and just be patient and enjoy it. Like, you know.
I think that's why I like Slime Rancher a little bit. But I think a good reason why they need to keep it simpler is because that way it does lend more time to go explore.
Yes.
And it lets you do that in an enjoyable way, because can you imagine how hard it would be to go explore if you had to really
I got to go water my crops. I got to weed my garden.
You wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
It would be a straight farm sim game.
Yep.
And that's kind of what, I was saying in the beginning. They blend the two so nicely together, because there's already like, when I get back to my farm, like
a little chaotic.
It takes a while to get everything. Make sure everybody's fed, get all the plorts out, like all of that stuff. Get my new guys
They're
all
plorting everywhere.
They're plorting all the time.
Oh my gosh. Which I think after playing the second one, I am just more convinced that it's just slime poop.
Yep.
Plorts, slime poop. Is there anything like else you felt like was really important to talk about the game? I mean, we talked quite a bit about it.
I just really enjoyed it. I just thoroughly enjoyed it and ate up every second of it, and I don't want to stop playing it. That's for sure.
I knew that was going to be the tricky one, but you know what? I'm not going to be mad if you're going to sneak in a Slime Rancher night.
Yeah.
Every so often. Like, I get it. Like,
I was a little concerned because you had said like you wanted the full game to be out before you had me play games, and you explained in the beginning of this like,
general rule of thumb,
right? Like why you wouldn't want me to do that normally, but on this one you felt like it would be okay, and I agree. Like I've spent 2 weeks on this game, and I'm still not at the end of what is out there. There is so much, and I really do feel like I have a good idea of what this is all about. Mm-hmm. It's really impressive. I love it. Love this company. Love what they're doing.
So, out of 10 rating.
10 out of 10 for sure.
And we absolutely know you're going to play it again.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I mean, I know I'm going to play it again, so we'll add that little bit in.
And then I'll have to play it again when the full game's out.
I really feel like this is a game you can absolutely recommend to people. Like if somebody completely fresh on video games, it might take them a while to get used to that control. Like dual stick controls can be a little much, but like if anybody can move around in 3D space in a game and they want just a chill, relaxing vibe game with a little bit of fun chaos mixed in, this is the game. Like I Monster Hunter and this one are very highly recommended games for me, I feel like. But this is Slime Rancher is something I think a lot more people can enjoy. Monster Rancher. I think
you can like show people a lot more quickly how good Slime Rancher is. It's a lot easier for everybody to jump in and either like it or not.
Yeah.
Really quickly. Monster Hunter is a hard sell because when you start up any Monster Hunter game,
way harder to start.
They got to suffer through like the first 4 hours, and you're like, keep going. I promise it's going to be really cool. And they're like, this game
pay off.
Yeah. And they're like, I don't have any idea what's going on. It keeps popping up with tutorial boxes. I hate this.
I don't know how to use my weapon. Why don't I have ammo?
Why do I need this?
Yeah.
Monster Hunter's a hard sell, but worth it in the end.
Yep.
Slime Rancher is probably a little easier to convince people that it's good. Well, as long as they don't get turned off by the look of it, which I don't know.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, like it's a mellow game. It's happy and fun.
It really is happy and fun. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
So honorable mention time, or what else we've been playing? Have you even been playing anything else?
Nope.
I don't think you have.
No, I've thought about playing Inscription, but I was like, nah, I'm okay.
you finally got your fill for a minute.
Gosh, I really wanna beat more of those challenges in Casey's mod, but I need to give myself a little bit of break, let the bruises heal from my beatings, and then maybe try again.
Yeah, sometimes that's the way you got to do that.
Sometimes you just end up breaking through then.
Hey, with roguelites and roguelikes, whatever you want to call it, depending on the game. Like I did that with Hades. Like I kind of hit a wall and I left it alone for a month.
Sometimes you just got to do that.
And then I came back and it just it took one or two runs to get back into the field. And then I burst through that wall. Like, it's so funny how that happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to let your brain sit on it and let that frustration just go away. And then you can kind of come back and really enjoy it again.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't feel like I got overly frustrated, but it's like, I just got to stop because I must be doing the same mistake over and over. And I just need to reset. What about you?
I've been playing Pal World, 2 million other people.
Yes.
Did you hear that? It got 2 million concurrent players on Steam. Mm-hmm. CS Counter-Strike was the only thing higher. It's kind of nuts how it overtook the world by storm. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's fun. It's just fun. It's fun to play.
Everybody's loving it. I haven't heard a bad thing about it.
Yeah. And here's the thing, we were just talking about early access games and how I generally only want to make you play full ones. I was tempted to be maybe I should make Rose play Pal World for the podcast. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? I can wait. I can wait on that one. I don't want to be okay, we're doing all early access games this year. But maybe I'll just have you play it just for fun. And maybe we'll do a little recording of us playing it or something. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah. But it's a blast. It's fun to capture the pals and
then work them.
Yeah. And then you just work them. And I'm going to start trying to make faster ones so the pals that I ride and fly on are faster than normal, and I'm gonna work on that. And I'm just kind of I'm not going too hardcore. I'm just taking things at my own pace. Yeah, and it's just kind of fun to see the new guys you get
that all look oddly familiar,
suspiciously similar sometimes. Yeah, but it's a wild ride, and I'm enjoying it.
There's a part of me that looks at it when you're playing it, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to get into this game because I see these characters and I think of the Pokemon name, and I think I'm gonna have a hard time and get so confused if I go back and forth.
Yeah, sometimes.
I have a feeling if I ever try to play a Pokemon game again, I'll be everything will be all scrambled.
Oh, look, it's Anubis. No, that's Lucario. Oh, yeah. No, it's freaking Penking. No, that's Empoleon. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It is, I really feel like when they made this game, they had the thought of what's fun? What's fun about playing a game like this? And they just kind of streamlined it for that. And it's early access. There's going to be more added. And I'm excited to see where that goes. Honestly, I don't know if I really played much of everything. Oh, I played a little bit of something else, but I'm going to keep that one a secret because I'm eventually going to make you play that. So okay. I think that's it. I don't have anything else.
I don't either today.
Yeah? No joke.
I couldn't find a good Slime Rancher joke.
Oh, no cringy joke today.
Not even a good bad joke. It was just really, really, really bottom of the barrel, and I wasn't gonna.
Oh, Not even like, oh, I met a slime named Goobert. And
that's what I'm talking about. I can't even make my mouth say stuff like that.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. We're not getting to that. We're moving on. I want to thank you, our listeners. We appreciate you so much and glad to see you tuning in. And please, freaking get that comment button all gooey with slime and leave us a comment. Slime up the buttons. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think, what you enjoy, and give me suggestions for Rose. What kind of how
would you like to torture me?
Yeah, next? I was gonna say what kind of pain you want to make me put my wife through, but just genuinely something you think she would enjoy or might be fun to see her play. I would appreciate that. Thank you to Brother Ray for our caricatures. I love them in our little picture all the time, and I think that's it. We're gonna move on out. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
This has been Co-ople Mode. You keep gaming with your bestie. Ta-ta!